All right, well, we will go ahead and get into some modeling. So today we're going to get fancy and do some ornate designs, hand engraved solitaire, right? It's nothing too crazy, but you can see right here, it's kind of made up of a little leaf shape that's just repeated over and over again down to about here. And then up here, they have some sort of filigree. So with that said, every ring is essentially built around a ring rail. So I can click that. I will accept the default and I'll get my history over here. If I ever wanted to adjust, I can edit that ring rail. And then I can either use the slider, or if I had viewport handles, I can use those as well. But let's go ahead and bring it back to a 7 and right click. So I'm going to put an outside ring rail and I'm going to change the shape. So over here under the dynamic commands, I can change the shape by clicking this box. And I'm going to choose something with a sharp point like this. And as I said, I can use the sliders or I can use the viewport handles. I tend to use the viewport handles, so just preparing you guys. Also, my icons will be extremely small because I am on a 4K monitor, but I will do my best to kind of explain the dimensions. So this is 1.8. I'm going to go to a 2 on the side and then maybe a 4 up at the top. So next we need to profile place. So I can select my ring rail, hit F6 and profile place. So you can see it opens up a new history icon over here under the dynamic commands. So what I want to do real quick is change the shape. So I can change the shape by selecting this, but over here in the document, I can hit the profile and it will open up the profiles. I'll select number 2. And then over here, I want to relate it to my outside curve because as you can see, if I pull it up to the height and then pull it along, it'll get taller than that outside ring rail that I want it to follow. So I will relate it to the outside ring rail. That way now, whenever I pull it, it'll stay that relative height. So let's pull it about right here. And let's go to, I guess, about 1.5. And now something cool we made in MatrixGold is the profile placer. So you see, as I go along my origin curve, I have a little white dot that follows me around. So everywhere I click, it will add a new profile. If ever I want to go back to my previous profile, all I have to do is click the white dot and it'll allow me to cycle through them all. If I want to delete one, let's say I made too many, I can select it, come over here and delete. So let's go to the bottom and we will taper it from a 1.5 to a 2.5, and then I'll put one about here and we'll do 2. If this is your first time, I will give you guys a little heads up. I am a bit of a perfectionist, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing when it comes in terms of modeling. So if I take a little bit extra time to make sure it's right, I apologize. So once I'm done with the profile place, I can right click. So now I can essentially do a 2-rail sweep with my 3 profiles. So under surface, I will do a dynamic sweep 2, select my rails, and then select my profiles and right click. Now you can see I presented with some geometry. So up at the top, we have automatic caps. and the bottom, I should say. But I don't need one down at the bottom, so I'm going to toggle mirror and toggle the end dome and turn it off. So if I right click, I now have a half of my shank. So next we need to do the center head. This is kind of a Tiffany head, if you will. So one thing I want to point out about these is it's easier to create with a bezel than with a head. So what I'm going to do is add a center stone. So gem on ring rail. It'll find the ring rail. And then let's pull it up into place. All right, so now I can run a bezel. So one cool thing I didn't really touch on is style sheets. So we can actually implement and save styles now. So you can select the kebab menu and style, and it will open the style sheet. So here you will see all of the styles that come default, but here I have actually added one. So I'm going to load it, and it kind of looks like this. I need to do a little bit of adjusting on it, but so the seat length, I need to change to about 5'8", and we're going to angle it to make the base a little thicker. I'll need to move this profile a bit, but we'll get into that. So if I right click to accept, I now have something like this. So now we can cut or boolean the head to make that 6-prong Tiffany style. So let's go to cutters, and we have the scallop cut. So you can see now this is going to be to create kind of a half bezel or something like that, but we can also use these cutters to our advantage as well. So if I hit the kebab menu, go to styles, I have this pie 6-prong Tiffany cut. You will have to create these styles. I created these a while back, so you want something like this. You don't want it to go all the way through because you need the base down here, but you want it to come close to the bottom. And then if you think about it in the reverse, right, this will essentially become my prong. So I need to make it a little bit thinner. So let's go outside width. Let's do 11. And that's pretty even, so let's right click. So now we can boolean, solids, boolean. Let's select the bezel, the cutters. And this is what I was talking about, Theodore. So whenever I right click, my cutters stay. Let's hide. My original stays, but I also have the booleaned object, right? So let's undo the boolean. So if I turn auto hide on when I boolean, you can see it disappears. All right, so next we need to cut because this hangs down a bit. So let's go to cutters, and we will cut to ring rail. Going to select my surface, right click, and there we go. So as I said, I need to bring this profile in a bit to close this gap. So I can come back to the original profile place, select that top one, and just pull them along. Do something like that. And I can right click. So I'm pretty close to being done with the base of the ring. I just really need to put the shapes on the side and the top. So there's kind of two ways to do this. One is going to be, I could probably do an object on curve and just lay it out along the face. But the top, it may be a little hard to do that. So I probably want to use Smart Flow. But before I do that, with the booleans and everything to the head, I can actually come here and edit this, and the head will automatically update. So that's pretty cool about parametric history. All right, so let's go ahead and put that detail on the profile views. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to turn this purple and hide it. So in order to smart flow, I essentially need a surface. Now I could probably extract this surface and flow to that, but I'm going to make my own surface. So I'm going to extract an isocurve. Then I'm going to pull it to the corners. So one right there. I'll do one more down here. And then I'll do one more on this. Well, actually, I'll take this one and mirror over. That way they are symmetrical. So I have my four curves. Let's hide this. My three curves, sorry. So there's a way to get a curve between them and make it parametric. So I'm going to hide this, this, and this, and just get my rail. So I'm going to go to the curve menu and blend curve. So I'm going to click the profiles, and I'm going to take the bend out of this completely. So you can see now that my auto hide is checked, whenever I right click, those rails will go away. Right, so I can bring them back by coming here and show, coming here and show. So now we just need to sweep surface, two rail sweep. Turn my caps off and right click. So let's turn him red. Right, so I have a surface here, and now we need to do the same between these two. So let's blend curve. Let's come down to the bottom, take the bend out, right click, and you can see I need to bring these back. So now we can sweep. And make him red. All right, so now that everything is still parametric, I can go to transform and run auto base. So whenever I run auto base, it will give me something like this. So essentially what the auto base command does, it takes this surface and lays it flat on your construction plane so you can put objects on here. Now, in here, let me open this. I already saved parts. All right, so this one, actually, it's going to, let me just import it this way. I kind of messed up. Saved it the wrong way, so we'll just import this. So these are the parts that I made. Let's reduce the thickness. So I'm going to take this leaf object, pull it over here. Delete that one. Nope. Kind of angle it. Increase the size. All right. So now we can come over here and run SmartFlow. So SmartFlow in the command line says select base, select destination. So also in here it says objects to flow. So I'm going to select that, select my part, and you can see it puts it over on my surface. So let me just right click. So now any change I make to this will update on my actual part. So let's do a little bit of work to it. And then we can just duplicate it. So I can select it. Let's reset that gumball. I can select it, hold Alt, and just pull a bunch. So if I go back, I can edit my SmartFlow, and I can put all of these parts in it and right click. So if I bring everything back, you will see I now have those leaves on my surface. So let's pull it down a bit. And angle it. Wrong way, sorry. There we go. All right. So next we just need to put our scrolls on the top. So pretty much the same exact way I did this one, I'm going to do the other one. Let's make all of this, and we'll actually select these and make these part green. That way I can hide that. So let's hide this, and we will run auto base on our top surface. And right click. Sorry. And now we just need to go to a top view and put this over here. So let's add a few more. Let's hold Alt, put 1, 2 more, and then we can select everything. Control Alt C, which will automatically center. And then let's pull it into position like this. And now we can run the smart flow. Smart flow, base surface. This is my base. This is my destination. And then I need to add these parts and right click. So now you see we have the scroll work. So I can right click. Let's hide our blue because I want to come here and rotate it. Make it go upwards. And now we can hide our red, and we essentially have this. Let's put this into red. And now it's just a simple mirror, right? So mirror. Let's select our orange, make it this color. And then I can mirror this side over to the left side. Bring our head back. And we're essentially done.